Okay, welcome to lesson 2. We're going to be talking about your domain. Your domain is that thing that you type in Google. So it's like the www.whatever.com. That's what we're talking about when we say your domain. And so before you buy your domain, there's a few things that you have to think about. So the first question to ask yourself is, will your website domain need to evolve with your brand? So this is something that I see people do quite frequently, that they don't put enough time and energy into thinking about where will the brand end up going? Where is that going to lead you? So for example, when I was first starting my website, and now it's whitneyhansen.com, but I was initially Whitney Hansen Coaching. And so I almost bought whitneyhansencoaching.com. And I'm really, really glad I didn't, because my brand needed to evolve. It was more than just coaching. It was courses. It was entrepreneurship. It was all these different elements. And coaching was kind of not quite exactly where I was going with my brand. And so by doing whitneyhansen.com, that allowed my brand to grow and evolve as my business did. So that's something that you should definitely think about is, does your brand need to evolve? And if so, will that URL support that evolution? So the second thing to think about is, what's the purpose of your website? Is this e-commerce where you are strictly selling products? Is it a blog where you're sharing your insights and some learnings and lessons that you learn along the way? Or is this a digital portfolio? Maybe you are a photographer and you're trying to just showcase all of your hidden talents and your really sweet pictures. Whatever it is, the purpose of your website matters, because if you are a photographer and you're trying to compete, and let's just say I live in Boise, Idaho, so let's say you're a photographer in Boise, part of that SEO, and we're not going to go into a lot of detail on SEO at all, but part of that SEO might be having Boise photography in your .com site. So that's kind of an important piece. So think about, what is your domain and how does that fit with your brand? So really, really important that you put a little bit of thought into that. The next thing to think about is, do you actually need a .com site? So for most cases, I would say about 90% of them or so, you probably will need a .com site. And the reason why is because people are so trained to enter whatever the website is .com. Like, we're just so naturally ingrained in that if you're trying to be clever, and maybe whitneyhansen.com was taken, so you wanted to go whitneyhansen.co, that's not very smart, because people are going to be going to whitneyhansen.com. And if that's not the site you want them to go to, then it's just messy. So make sure you really analyze what exactly are people going to be searching for before you actually purchase that domain. So if the one you really want is taken, don't try to be clever in most cases, or you're going to end up sending other people your traffic, and you want that traffic to go to your website. So hopefully that makes sense. And now we're going to switch over, and I'm going to show you how to find a domain. So I'll show you the website I use for that and how to navigate the domain searching process. Okay, so here we are on GoDaddy.com. This is one of my favorite websites because I use this one quite a bit. So before you purchase your domain, make sure you go through the hosting section. The hosting that I recommend actually gives you a free domain if you've never used them before. And so it's pretty sweet. But if you already have hosting and you're looking for a domain, this is the website that I tend to use the most. So let's say you wanted to start a blog that's a fashion blog, and you want to call it fashionforyou.com. I'm making this up, but let's pretend that's the website you want. So fashionforyou.com is taken. So you'll see that underneath here, they give you a ton of different recommendations. A .info, a .us, crazeforyou.com. So they give you all these different suggestions that you might think about. So let's say we're looking at this stuff and we just do not like any of those suggestions. So we decide we want something that's more has to do with just fashion. So we can see fashion.xyz is almost $13,000. That's a little bit crazy, but that's how much that one would be. And so you can start to see, like, all of these things are not quite what we would want, in my opinion, because we want a .com. So you can keep searching and you can find something that will actually show you exactly what you want. But let's say we're going to start a blog that's for Boise people only. So fashionboise.com. That one is available. It's only 99 cents in most cases. If you already have purchased domains through GoDaddy before, it's going to be a little bit higher. but let's say that's what you wanted to go with. So then you would then purchase your domain. And then it's super, super easy. It will take you through that checkout process. You can go through and then you officially have that domain. So right now, I want you to think about what is the domain that you want. So on your worksheet, make sure you write that down, and you can search for other domains. It's likely that you're not going to find your ideal domain, the one you want the most. It's probably taken. So just be sure that you are thinking about that and you have a very clear idea of what your domain might actually be. Okay, and as I mentioned in the next lesson, we're going to be talking about hosting, where if you have never done this stuff before and you're trying to create a website from scratch, then hosting is going to be the route for you, where you get a free domain when you sign up. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you on the next lesson.